Hi everyone, I'm Jess, um, and I'm really excited to be speaking with everyone, even though I am really sorry that I am not there in person to do this today. Unfortunately, the reason why I can't be there physically with you all is exactly why I'm speaking to you in the first place, because cancer sucks a lot. Um, but beyond just cancer being the worst, I'm not there because I was basically put on house arrest last Wednesday. I was in for my normal weekly treatment, and unfortunately, my blood work came back that I was neutropenic, which basically means that my white blood cell counts are so low um, that I'm at a high risk of infection. So I can't go out in public because if I were to get any type of infection or get sick at all, I would be hospitalized and treatment would be paused. And we can't have that because I am really close to the end. So let me back up a little bit and tell you about myself. I grew up in New Hampshire, born and raised in Manchester, where all the primaries happened today, actually, or at that point it will be today. Um, and I went to college in Tampa, Florida, at the University of Tampa, where I graduated with a marketing degree. I came home and went right into the advertising world, where I spent the first few years, or yeah, I spent the first year and a half at an ad agency. Then I moved to Boston, where I worked for TJX in their marketing department. So by the time I was 24, I was just really loving life, honestly. I didn't have too many cares except for paying my rent every month, and I was just having a blast. I was really career focused and driven, and that was probably my biggest concern. Um, so I left for work. On February 20th of 2014, and I didn't end up coming home until March 17th. Um, that day, I had just had so much pain that was radiating down my back and through my legs that I couldn't really walk. So I went to the emergency room, and at that point, I was told that I most likely had leukemia. So they rushed me to Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, where I spent 27 days. So during that time, I went through a lot of testing, and they officially diagnosed me with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And, we went over the plan to get me into remission, which would be that first period that I wasn't able to leave the hospital. And then it was explained to me that once you hit remission and you are cancer free, it's kind of when the road continues to the race starts, I guess. I was or have been on a 2-year treatment plan. So March 26th of 2014, I hit remission, which was incredible. And then at that point, it was 2 years of treatment and tons of different kinds, chemotherapy being the biggest, but also some brain radiation that I went through the summer of 2014. Actually, I wouldn't have been able to do this if I was in person, but show and tell, this was my brain radiation mask. Fits my face perfectly. But I thought that would be fun to share. Um, but I finished that, and in general, in 2014, I spent over 100 nights in the hospital. So it was a tough year. It wasn't obviously um, one that I look back on and think that was a good time, but I also learned a lot about myself. Once we moved into 2015, the chemo treatment and regimen continued, but I was able to finally go back to work. So I had spent 11 months out of work, in the hospital a lot, and at home by myself a lot. Um, but um, I was finally able to go back to work. And so in 2015, um, I've been working full time and I go to treatment every Wednesday. And I get chemo every single Wednesday. And that's the plan I've been on, and I will be on until we finish up within the next month or 2 months. Um, but, I got through this, as tough as it was because of so many amazing people in my life, and so many people that weren't even in my life, but also came into my world because of this experience. So it's been a challenging almost 2 years, uh, but I'm marching on. So now enough about me, but I want to tell you about Dana Farber. So I could go on and on about how brilliant all my doctors are, how Dana Farber is doing some of the most cutting edge research in the cancer space, how they employ people like my doctor who literally paved the way for the very leukemia treatment plan that I'm on, and basically the rest of the country who's affected by leukemia follows. But I don't want to go on and on about all of the medical brilliance that is behind Dana Farber, because I think you can go online and you can do that. What I want to tell you about is the people at Dana Farber, the people that they employ. They are the most caring, compassionate, energetic, amazing people that I have honestly ever met. And that means everyone. It means my oncologist, it means his fellow, it means the physician's assistants, the um, the therapists, the staffing, the social workers, the reception. They are all amazing, and every single person that I've had the pleasure of coming into contact with has made what should have been a terrible experience a pleasant one. Um, so I want to tell you just a quick story about these amazing people. Just one example. So when I arrived at the hospital the first night of being told that I most likely had leukemia, I arrived in the emergency room, and I was shaking. My heart was pounding out of my chest. My eyes were glued wide open. Um, like I was terrified, honestly. I really was just kind of in this blank state of just shock. And they wheeled me into a room where I was met with my doctor, Mandy, and this young, beautiful, just tall doctor that was smiling, and she just looked warm and wonderful. And as soon as I got wheeled in, she sat down right next to me and she took my hand instantly. And she looked me right in the eyes and she told me that she was going to fix me, that they were going to make everything okay, and that I was going to be fine. And to hear that, and to truly feel like she wasn't giving me a line. She really believed that they were going to be able to do whatever was necessary to save my life. And I mean, that moment has stuck with me throughout this time, um, and it will be ingrained in my memory the rest of my life because it meant the world to me. And she brought a sense of calmness in a very chaotic moment, and she gave me confidence instantly in this organization. She made me understand right away that I was really in good hands and that there wasn't anywhere else in this world that I would want to be other than at Dana Farber and with her particularly and my other doctor. Um, but people like Dr. Mandy, that's what makes this institution so special because there's lots of people like Dr. Mandy. I mean, I know that she is one of a kind, but there are a hospital. It's full of Dr. Mandys, people that are so passionate about what they do and they care so much about every single patient that they have. These people have made my time here beyond bearable, but something, that when treatment ends in a month or so, I'm going to be sad in a way. I certainly, will not be sad that I'm not getting pumped full of drugs and I don't feel, crappy anymore, but I'm going to hate not seeing these people on a daily basis, or not on a weekly basis. I'm going to feel like I I don't get to see my good friends because the nurses um, that I see every week, they have become my friends. They literally are people that I think will be in my life for the rest of my life. I love them. I love everybody at Dana Farber. And, you know, it's just, the, it's the people at Dana Farber that make it the institution that it is. And it's a magnificent one. And I couldn't be more blessed to live in this area and to have been able to go. And I, I think we're all in New England really lucky that it's just a little drive away because we couldn't be in better hands than we are with the people at Dana Farber. So I ask that when you tell your staff about this program that you're running in your restaurants is that you position it as more than just a program to raise money for a hospital in the area. That Dana Farber is more than just a hospital. It's a community of angels. Honestly, I know that sounds probably corny, but that's what it is. It's filled with angels. Um, it's an organization that saves lives, thousands of them, every single year. It saves the lives of real people, people who have families and friends and futures that they're excited about. They have made my future a reality. Um, they gave me my future back. Uh, so help them bring more futures back. Help them continue to conduct research that will bring people hope. And you're doing this for not just the people of here in Boston, but all around the world that benefit from the things that are coming out of Dana Farber. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to my story and supporting the most incredible organization on the planet.